welcome back to my YouTube channel, #MovieBae. I am MovieBae, and in this video, I'm going to be giving my review over The Color Purple 2023 musical rendition. Now, before I get too into it though, I want y'all to drop down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Because here on MovieBae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentaries to movies and television. And if that is the type of content that you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. If you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up. And of course, as always, feel free to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Now, I just dropped a review over The Color Purple 1985 because it was my first time watching it in its entirety in my life. Okay. So I say that to say this. It's fresh on my brain. So when I went to go see the musical about 2 days ago, I got some things to say. And I'm going to do this review with a pros, cons, and I'm going to give my overall rating, okay? Now, before we get too into it, let's go ahead and read the synopsis and talk about the directors and the writers. The synopsis reads, torn apart from her sister and her children, Celie faces many hardships in life, including an abusive husband. Ultimately, she finds extraordinary strength in the unbreakable bonds of a new kind of sisterhood. Okay, this is directed by Blitz Bazawu. If I pronounced that incorrectly, my apologies. But he directed Black is King, Beyonce's visual album. Did not see it, okay? But it's a visual album, so you know the visuals are gonna be on point, okay? So this was written by Alice Walker, obviously, because it was based on her book, Marcus Gartley and Marsha Norman. Now, let's talk about the writing real quick. When it comes to doing book adaptations or decade-long remakes of movies, writing is imperative. You don't want to change too much, okay? And a lot of the times, people forget about the characters. They try to take things out or consolidate. That's my word of the week, y'all. Consolidate things. And they often take out things that leads to character development. And I can say in this movie, they did not do that. So that's already a plus, okay? So since we're talking about pluses, let's go ahead and get into my pros for this movie. Now the pros, well, I'm going to break it down to pros and cons, and we're going to start with the pros. Casting. The casting is good, hands down. There are a couple of people I want to highlight when it comes to this movie. Danielle Brooks as Sophia, originally played by Oprah. She carried this movie on her back. And when I get to the cons, I'm going to elaborate on how. Taraji as Suge, I feel like that was perfect casting, y'all. I love Taraji. She's beautiful. She's funny. She's a bomb actress. I love Taraji. Okay? Taraji stand over here. I also wanted to highlight Deon Cole. He plays Celie and Nettie's father. And Deon Cole is really trying to step into his serious actor bag, and I'm here for it. Go ahead. All right. So I also want to talk about Coleman Domingo, who he played Albert Mister. And I just want to say, is he kin to Danny Glover? Because they look so much alike. But when it comes to his acting, there was no weak links. However, I feel like he was just mean. He was just mean. And when we get to the 1985 review, I feel like that took a toll on the overall tone of this musical. Lastly, I wanted to say I love David Alan Grier. I'm a stan, so I was happy to see him. And I gotta mention Hailey Bailey because, you know, she just had The Little Mermaid earlier this year. Some people didn't like her acting in that movie. I didn't either. But in this movie, I feel like she did well because she wasn't in it long. Is that shade? I'm not trying to be shady. That's just my opinions, okay? Let's go ahead and go to my next pro. Since it is a musical, I personally don't like musicals unless it's anything Disney related. Grease, Dreamgirls, Sparkle. That might be it. Those are like the only musicals I like. So one thing that was stopping me from wanting to go see this movie was because it was a musical, and I'm not trying to hear all this singing all the time. But it's a pro and a con for me. But let's talk about the pro first. The pro is it had some good songs in there that to this day, granted it's only been 2 days later, I'm still singing in my head. So one of my favorite songs and performances was Hell No. And that was by Danielle Brooks, and that's it follows the scene after Harpo hits her, and she's like, hell no. Like, I love that. That is my favorite song. That was my favorite song in the entire picture. It was funny. It was like, preach, sis, okay? And most importantly, it wasn't just thrown in the mix. It had dialogue to lead up to her singing. And all of the songs in this movie was not like that. Another song I liked is when Suge was coming to town. I liked that sequence, and I also enjoyed the juke joint performances. Yeah, that was a good scene. It was kind of awkward because I was there with my mom and my grandma, but like, because in the juke joint they were like grinding, bumping, grinding, like, song, we gonna have a juke jam, we gonna have a, okay, like they was on it, okay. Good scene, but it was a little awkward when you go see it with your grandparents. Another pro I had is they added certain things from the book, The Color Purple, that the 1985 movie did not. Okay. And I have not read the book in its entirety, but I have watched multiple reviews on it, and as it was compared to the 1985 film. So just an example is when Sophia was let out of jail, how the entire family was there with her. It wasn't shown like that in the 1985 film, but it was in the musical version. So I like that they put that in there. And my last pro is they did a good job at consolidating some lengthy scenes. So some things in the 1985 where, and I'm not even gonna hold you, even though Sophia's storyline is low-key my favorite storyline, in the 2023 version, they definitely shrunk that because in the 1985, I'm like, damn, this a whole nother story. Like, this a whole nother movie type shit. Like, but in the musical, they made it short, but still powerful. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and get into my cons of this movie. After watching the 1985 version, I feel like, well, first off, the content matter, the subject matter of The Color Purple is heavy and it's dark. Okay. It's about teen pregnancy, incest, abuse, sexually and physically. It's just dark. It really is. So when you have such a heavy subject matter, you need to have some light in it. Okay. And I feel like the 1985 version of the book did a great job, because I heard the book is super like heavy. And a lot of people were saying that the 1985 film is super heavy, but in my opinion, it wasn't, because it had that balance of humor. First off, you have Whoopi Goldberg, who is a comedian playing the lead role. And even though this girl is getting abused, she still finds humor in little areas of life. Like when she spit in the water for Mr. Johnson, when she was like getting things out ready for Mr. when Suge was coming to town. Like that was a comic moment. The spitting in the cup was a comedic moment. When Mr. was cooking for Suge and like he was about to blow the house up, and she like ran in the rocking chair, sitting there rocking. When you have Mr. Johnson at the table talking about Margaret, who gives a damn? Like there was so many funny parts, small funny parts in the 1985 version that were taken out of the musical rendition, and it just made it heavy. I mean, even Miss Millie was the white lady. She was even a little like ditzy funny in the 1985 version, but in the musical, she's just like mean. It's just like, it's no humor in that situation at all. And granted, it's not a funny situation, but Miss Millie being so dingy because she can't drive, and you know, just little things like that made a little light into such a heavy part of the movie. You know what I'm saying? So that was a major con, in my opinion, when it came to the musical. It just sucked all the humor out of it. So it was just really, really heavy. I talked earlier about Coleman Domingo's performance as Mr., how he was just mean. Like I just stated, they made Millie just mean. The only funny parts were literally Danielle Brooks as Sophia. Her and Harpo, they were funny. They even took the little juke joint part out when he closed the piano, like, gotta go. Like, they even took that out. But something that they changed, but it was still funny, is when the "You Shall Live Ugly" line came. Like, they didn't say it in the movie, but how Taraji looked at Celie, the entire audience in the movie theater was like, "You shall live ugly," because I liked how they did that. I did like how they did that. But my con is those moments were too far and in between. So another con that I had is all the songs weren't introduced with dialogue. And that was my fear when it came to watching this musical. They literally just put songs where it wasn't a song needed. The first 10 minutes had 3 different songs in it. And I was like, no, I was about to check out because I did not want that to happen. And on top of that, it wasn't introduced. We're just singing. Okay, if you're not going to sing the entire movie, don't do it like that. Like, you need to introduce. Okay, like, start talking and then go into the movie, like go into the musical, the song. That's how I like my musicals anyways. Aside from the 3 songs that I mentioned, the Hell No, because that's when she asked, "You told Harpo to beat me, and all my life I had to fight, and I'm not gonna fight in my own home." She storms off, and then she starts singing. It makes sense. It made sense. It went with the moment. Okay. There's just some things where I feel like they could have either did the song and then the dialogue, or just add one little piece of dialogue in there that introduced us to the song. So a majority of the songs were like that, minus the 3 that I actually enjoyed in the film. My final con was, my word of the day, consolidating things that should have been expanded upon. So I understand shrinking Sophia's storyline, because even though that was my favorite storyline, it didn't need to be as long as it was in the 1985 scene, especially because they left out a lot of important points that were in the book. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, if we ain't gonna talk about all of it, shrink it and still make it impactful. So I like that they did that. However, when it comes to Celie's storyline, who is the main character, who the movie is about, you can't shrink her stuff. Okay. So when it came to when she saw her baby in the market, not holding it and talking to the lady, like, I'm like, they just gonna, I just see it through the window. Is that what's going on? And then I bust into a daydream song. Like, no. I don't like things like that. Something else that they didn't really touch upon, in my opinion, was she didn't seem as defeated, in my opinion. Like, yes, Mr. was mean. Yes, she was scared, but she didn't seem like she just had a journey to go to get self-confident. I felt like she was already halfway there, honestly. And it's supposed to be a journey to find that strength, if you ask me. I did like, though, how they elaborated on, Boosie didn't like this, but how they elaborated on the relationship between Suge and Celie, how it was friendship for sure, but it was a type of relationship that Celie never had. And I like how in the musical, they make it more so related to, oh, they really did do something together because she woke up with her hand on her boob. You know what I'm saying? Versus in the original movie, it was just like a kiss and then we're going to fade off type thing. So I like that they did that, but I just feel like they should have expanded on certain things when it came to Celie's character that they took out, you know. Like, they just shrunk it down to one line when it was a whole scene. I don't know. I guess they had to fit the music in there somehow. With that being stated, if I had to rate this movie out of 10 stars, I would give it a 7.5. It's not a bad movie, and since it's a reimagining, they didn't do a bad job. I just wish that I wish they didn't take out, if I could change anything, I wish they did not take out the humor that the 1985 movie had, because it is such a heavy subject matter that you need those comedic moments. And only time I cracked a smile is when Danielle Brooks and or Harpo was on the cast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Johnson wasn't even funny. Like, yes, he was rude and calling people nappy head. Like, they took all of that out. Like, I know you don't want to get canceled these days, or you don't want to perpetuate certain type of images, but like, he was calling them nappy head, she black, she ugly, she skinny, she, like, he was talking down about her. And granted, no, that's not nice verbiage, but like, that was funny. Mr. Johnson ain't funny no more. Like, come on. Even Albert, he didn't even make a joke until the very end of the damn movie with the damn silver pants on. They just took out a lot of comedic moments for me. And that's my biggest downfall. So like I stated, I'll give it a 7.5. I just thought about Sierra playing adult Nettie. And I never realized how much she looked like Haley Bailey. You know, they didn't even have to put the mole on her head nor zoom in on it. But those are my thoughts about the movie. Please tell me your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed my video, even if you didn't, I don't care. Support Black businesses. Give me a thumbs up so we can push it in the algorithm, okay? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Oh, wait. I forgot. How did they not sing Sister, Miss Celie's Blues, in the juke joint? They waited until she already had her strength. That don't make no damn sense. All right, bye y'all. Bye. I'm starting to pick out more things the more I think about it. Let me just get off of here. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.